In this video, I'm going to show the DIY mod to combine the drop-in kill switch with this remote battery disconnect switch to make a remote kill switch. Now, I can wirelessly enable or disable the starter of the vehicle instead of flipping a hidden switch in the cabin. Watch till the end, as I will also cover some important points on this DIY remote kill switch.
Frakking Creations, showing you the good stuff.
Parts needed for DIY remote kill switch. This DIY requires two kits to be purchased. This 4122 drop-in kill switch and this remote battery disconnect switch. The drop-in kill switch is a DIY kit to easily install a plug-and-play kill switch to your vehicle without cutting or splicing any factory wires. If you need more info on this kit, watch my install video for it here, where I also talk about some important things to know before using it. The remote battery disconnect switch is a remote relay that was originally meant to allow easy remote disconnecting or connecting of the 12-volt car battery. I could have used this without the drop-in kill switch, except for one big issue. The switch disconnects the battery completely, so the vehicle is effectively unpowered. This means no car alarm, the clock stops, and will need to be set every time, and in other cases, radio settings and vehicle memory settings can be reset. By the way, if you want to have a better understanding of the inner workings of the remote relay, find our review video for it here. I will go over how it works, show how much power it uses when turned on, and how much power it uses when turned off, plus more. The perfect balance for me is to combine the two kits to get a pretty cool remote kill switch. Please pause to read. A quick disclaimer that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. DIY remote kill switch install. Before starting, I have to make sure I disconnect the negative terminal of the vehicle from the battery for safety. Anytime I want to disconnect or connect a wire, even if it is on this remote relay, this should be done. This is especially important when working with positive terminals and wires. If the negative terminal is still connected to the battery, it is dangerous for me to be connecting or disconnecting a power wire because I could accidentally cause a short circuit and cause a fire. I talk about why removing the negative terminal is important in our video here. There are two parts to the install. First, to install the drop-in kill switch, and second, to install the remote relay, which will replace the toggle switch. Because I already have a video on installing the drop-in kill switch, I won't go into detail for that here. Watch that video instead. But at a high level, for part 1, we replace the starter relay with the bypass relay, mount the wiring box in a safe and hidden location, and connect the ground wire properly to an engine bay ground or the negative terminal of the battery. Normally, the next two steps are required to finish the drop-in kill switch install, but they are not required for this install. So I will not be passing the toggle switch harness through the vehicle firewall and into the cabin, and I will not be installing the toggle switch. For part 2, at a high level, we connect the toggle switch harness to the remote relay. Connect the positive power wire of the remote relay to the battery's positive terminal. Then mount the remote relay and secure all loose cables with zip ties or wiring harness tape. To make for a good solid connection to the terminals of the remote relay, I connect ring terminals to the toggle switch wires. I use these heat shrink ring terminals. I like to drop a small piece of lead-free solder inside before inserting the wire and crimping it. Heat it with a heat gun to self-solder and seal everything together. I'll include links to everything I use in this DIY in the video description. For the toggle harness wires, it does matter which wire is connected to which terminal. The two large terminals have pin numbers on them. One is 30 and the other is 87. Based on the documentation, terminal 30 is supposed to be connected to negative or ground. Only one of the two wires is ground. I can use a multimeter to test for continuity of each wire by connecting one of the wires to a multimeter lead and then touching the other lead to any ground point on the vehicle. If it beeps, then that is the ground wire. Alternatively, I can just connect the two wires and later when I test the install, if I can't hear it click and it doesn't work, then I just need to switch the two around. For safety, I still make sure the negative terminal of the battery is disconnected before doing the wire swap. For me, the red wire is ground, so I connect it to terminal 30. I insert the ring terminals and tighten the nuts to secure before moving on. Next, I want to connect the power wire of the remote relay. This wire will power the wireless controller in the remote relay, as long as terminal 30 is already connected to ground. Normally, anytime a positive wire is connected to the battery directly, it should already have an inline fuse connected as close to the battery terminal as possible for safety reasons. This power wire is quite long and doesn't have an inline fuse, which makes it a hazard. To make things safer, I decide to put an inline fuse in between the positive wire for the remote relay. I use one of these inline fuse holders and use a 2 amp fuse. I cut the supplied positive wire to splice in the inline fuse holder close to the ring terminal. When I look at it now, I think I will have to go back and redo this so that the ring terminal is closer to the fuse. The wire length looks a little too long and needs to be shorter. I like to use these self-soldering heat shrink connectors, which make things a lot easier to connect the wires without manually soldering them. I strip the wires and insert them to meet up in the center to overlap. Then heat with a heat gun to solder and seal. With the negative terminal of the battery disconnected, I then connect the fused power wire to the positive terminal of the battery. Next, I have to secure everything. The remote relay has to be mounted somewhere, and all loose wires should be zip tied or taped with the wire harness tape to secure them away from moving parts or hot engine parts. Reconnect the negative terminal of the battery last and test. That's basically all there is to the DIY. Turn the remote off and the car won't start. Turn it on and the car starts. Good stuff. Here's a bonus tip. It would be a good idea to keep a set of mini screwdrivers and a spare CR2032 lithium battery in the car so that the battery in the remote can be replaced in case it dies. You don't want to be stranded because you can't turn the remote kill switch on. Like and share this video with anyone else that would enjoy it. Check out our other videos and subscribe for more good stuff to come.
Yep, that's it. Cool.